Hey guys, we're back again, and this time we got some new cards for Magnolia. Um, there's not a lot to say about the new stuff. I feel like the last set had the more like deck changing stuff, but this does feel like a little, it does feel like pretty good support. It just doesn't add like as much like fun things that you could do with the deck. So still good though, still really solid deck. So go ahead and like, subscribe, comment any questions, anything you got on the random deck choices I'm going to make, and we'll just get into it. The ride line, I know there's that one guy that didn't like that I was not playing the Magnolia ride line. However, the Magnolia ride line is still not good, so we're playing Rancor Chain and we're playing Husk Dragon, the Grade 3 Magnolia. Um, they tried to give us a Grade 3 that would make the original Magnolia ride line feel a little better, but the issue is that it's just not worth it. I'm not risking calling a over trigger to my board. I'm not risking calling the heal trigger I know is on top to board just to be like, but wait, you have the Winnie the Pooh guy. It's not it. It's not it. So yeah, there's no changes to the ride line. Not in this foreseeable section. The grade 4s and the grade 3s, we're still on Magnolia Elder, and we're still on the recently unrestricted Inlet Pulse. Um, these two just feel kind of insane together. Obviously, you ride the Magnolia over your. Sorry, ride Magnolia Elder over the original Magnolia. Grab Inlet Pulse from your soul. Just keep drawing. It's just free. It's really good. Um, so that hasn't been a reason to take in the pulse out of the deck. So he stays there. Going on to the grade 2s, which is a big portion of the deck. So this is the Goldie Goat. This is the new card. This card is like it's kind of good. So it's also your like best discard fodder for riding up, which feels really good. So if he's in your drop, and you place your grade 3 or greater, so whether you go into this or whether you go into this, does not matter. You put him, if you don't have him in your soul, you put him into your soul and give your Vanguard +5 until the end of turn. It's okay, right? Because you're like, you know what? 18k triple drive, 18k twin drive, sure, whatever, that's fine. But it also has the ability that on rear guard, specifically the back row center, that when when it swings, it gets +10, and then you can kill it to draw a card at the end of turn. It is good. you get so basically you have if you have these four on your board for some ungodly reason, and you have this right behind your Vanguard, you're drawing 5 cards that turn, not including triple drive with Magnolia Elder. It's good. The fun interaction that you have with this is you can, let's say you have multiple in your drop. When you go to, we'll put the drop there. You have this as your Vanguard. You ride this, put this to Soul. Vanguard gets +5. Elder's skill, call this out of the Soul. His skill, because you don't have one in your drop, put this back to your Soul, another +5. It's free. You're basically just gonna, as long as you ride Magnolia Elder, which you want to keep riding Magnolia Elder, you're just going to keep abusing this like kind of free draw, which is very, very nice. So he is the first. I have no idea what I'm doing with my hands. I'll be real with you, but he's the first of our important grade 2s. 4 copies of Alpin. 4. 3 copies of Alpin. Alpin's still really solid, just to get us that counter charge. The Soul is kind of nice because we still play orders, so it can't be that bad. And it's also good because we still play Bandero. I only play 3 copies though. The reason why I'm still playing this and not playing, like, I don't know, other cards I don't find good is because he's a 14k beater, which, as I've said, is since this we got this. It's the big thing that Magnolia's been missing is just something that hits for 13 or greater. Because you have inlet pulse, and that's it, right? You could say like, oh, but like you could put this in the front row and it gets power too, and it's like, yeah, sure, but this didn't come out till later. This has been carrying for a while now, but it also calls back more Panteros if you have them in your drop, so it's also discard fodder, which is also very free. And 3 copies of Ganasala. I've seen people step away from this card. They're like, it's just not worth it. MPix is better. Um, Gonna have to disagree on that. MPix just this isn't a very control meta, if that makes sense. You're not. This isn't set 4 where Gravidia was just wiping your board and then Prison was wiping your board every turn. It's a very aggro meta, so having things just beat for bigger numbers is just a lot better in my opinion. For the cost of a counterblast. So that is the grade 2 lineup, and of course the grade 1 lineup hasn't changed. It is just 4 perfect guards. You play them, you can't play the order perfect guard because you're on a grade 4, but it's fine. We draw enough cards that the guard restrict thing doesn't necessarily matter. The orders of the deck is the in the dim darkness, frozen resentment, and then the spiritual body condensation. I still play a 3-3 split. I think that is the correct. Yeah, I'd say it's about correct because sometimes you really want the power, sometimes you really want the just to dig and find a piece. Overall, it's very good. I don't see a reason to not play these two. There was an order from set 2 where you could counterblast Soul Blast to kill one of your opponent's rear guards, and then, oh look, you get to bring one back that has the same grade. That card's fine, right? But like, here's the issue. Most of the deck that I want to call back is grade 2s. So if my opponent is playing a deck and they just don't have any grade 2s on board, that card's kind of dead in hand. So there's no point to having it, you know? So I think this is just the safer lineup to play, and this is the lineup you should be playing. Uh, Moving on to the triggers. The triggers actually have changed. I changed the triggers a little bit. So we are playing an over trigger because that card's just good, right? The reason I'm not playing the Cray Elemental one is because I think just drawing extra cards, getting the crit value, very worth it. I've switched to a resounding 8 critical triggers. Now, if you've kept up with the recent iterations that I've made, I still played the fronts. The reason I'm playing the crits now is I'm a little more dedicated to killing the opponent on the quicker because I can definitely draw out a game with this deck, but I'd rather, not let them sculpt their hand too much to potentially get it back. This deck hasn't necessarily gotten worse. It's just things are slowly getting more powerful, so they're starting to keep up with it. 3 copies of the draw triggers. Drawing cards is always good. 4 copies of the heal triggers. I don't want to die early on, so it's that's probably the best trigger lineup to run right now. Maybe you could argue for the fronts again, but I haven't wanted to go back since trying this again because this just feels a lot better. And yeah, that is it for this profile. Again, like I said, not a lot changed about the deck. This deck's still insanely solid. Just there's a couple new. There was just a new card that made the deck really good. Don't play the grade 3 Winnie the Pooh thing. That's all I gotta say. It's not good. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one though. Peace.